So introduce yourself and tell me your roles and school that you go to.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Mary Olubayi. I'm the director of St. Nicholas Group of Schools, or what we call educational institutions. They're all located in Nairobi and Embakasi sub-county. I have a primary school, a junior school, a preschool. We have a teachers training college, which is actually the oldest. And then I have a St. Nicholas professional college of professional studies, where it is a TVET wing. At the same time, we also have Olunana Gardens. Olunana Gardens is an events and basically hospitality space where our students who do hospitality in the TVET course or college come to do their studies, or rather their practicals. But at the same time, it's open to the public. We do events, we do team buildings, we do weddings, it's an open restaurant. If you come, you can come in and have a drink, have a meal. It's located along Koma Kenol Road, that's off Kangundo Road. But that is a spin-off from the main business, which is education. So pretty much I'm an edupreneur. At the same time, I am the Kenya Private Schools Association Horn Secretary for Nairobi County, and I also lead all the private schools in Embakasi. And in the university space, I sit in 2 universities as the council member, which is the top governing body, Mount Kenya University, based in Nairobi. And from last year, I also got appointed to head to be a member of Mount Kigali, which is in Rwanda.
Wow.
Council. So those are the 2 spaces that I sit in. I also I represent all the private schools in the country in the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, where matters curriculum are discussed. So I gather all points from the private schools, the private directors, and then when we sit in the academic committee of the KICD, I present all the issues that are private related, among other things. Yes.
Hey, you should know who is in the room. Okay, so let me start with you. I'm going to segment them into different things because of just the pivotal role that you play in all 3 of them.
Yes.
So I'm going to start from an education perspective. You're telling me a child can come in. Do you have a kindergarten?
Yes, I do.
A child can enter from kindergarten and leave with a job.
Yes. It's no longer called kindergarten per se, so we call it the preschool. And in the preschool, we also have the reception group. The reception group are the ones who are under 4, because in Kenya, the curriculum, the earliest a child should go to school is from age 4. And so in our school, we have the space from between age 3 and 4, which is called the reception group. At the reception group, they have their own curriculum. They actually come to do 4 things. They come to eat, they come to sleep, they come to learn social manners, and just to bond.
Wow.
So that prepares them, that takes away the fear of the formal school, and eventually they get into school, and then they also get to learn a few words. They shed off the selfish aspect they have, because when they're at home, maybe it's their only child, so everything is mama, papa. So when they come there, they're able to learn how to share, they're able to learn how to do a few things for themselves, but basically to play and be just their own space, so that the motor skills, the hands, the fingers, but we do not do any writing and space like that. But when they want to draw, they draw. We give them papers to color, so that they can color. They want from any point of the page to the other point. By the time they're done with the 2 years, they are able to sort of confine their coloring. So that is the reception. Then we have the preschool. In the preschool now, they advance a little. They're able to wash their handkerchiefs at home. They're able to say, excuse me. They're able to... They gain some mileage in terms of even confidence, and they can tell the teachers exactly what they want in some form of construction of a sentence. So when they say, for example, teacher, this one stealed my pen, we understand. They already know there's a difference between the word stealing and stolen. Just that they do not know now how to change, but at least they understand there's a concept that you're supposed to do to this word to change. So there's that level of understanding. Then now from there, they go to grade 1, where now they begin to do their own things. We give them the space to write their own diaries. We don't write for them diaries. Parents had a problem with that they expected the teachers to do everything for them. But as an educationist, Let me just slightly tell you why I started the teacher training college. It's because the kind of teacher that we have today is one who is in a in a tunnel, really piped. And as a teacher, I felt that I needed to be free. I need to be free to deliver the message to what I want. But again, I was confined because I'm told this is not how we do things. And so I was looking for a space that I was going to give teachers who are like me, creatives, to be able to deliver the same message in the best way and the most relaxed way possible. For instance, I teach English literature, well, I used to. And I don't see why I should not take my students to the field during an oral literature class. I don't see why I should not ask students to go and sing the different songs. I don't see why I should not take them out to recite poems. But that story of we must sit in class and teach the poem takes away the role of the teacher as a facilitator. And so I thought, let me begin by infusing that creative teacher who has a space to be what he or she wants. And so in St. Nicholas Teachers Training College, that's what we do, and we teach teachers up to diploma level. We have graduated up to 823. 823. We started in 2009. We started with P1. Somewhere along the line, we dropped it. Again, when the system changed, because we do the NEC curriculum. So now we have DECTE, we have a certificate level and diploma level. And because CBE, formerly CBC...
In fact, first and foremost, there's a lot of wisdom you are throwing all at once. So I will allow me to slow you down.
That's fine.
So first and foremost, you are talking about what I saw, or what you're talking about as a creative teacher. It's what we saw here in terms of autonomy that a teacher has. You sort of want to give that freedom.
Yes.
So did you relate with that in terms of what you saw, how teachers learn here?
Yes, I really, really related. And that again gave me an assurance to know that what I did was not out of the abnormal, was not an abnormal aspect. It sort of reassured that I was not being rebellious as I was being labeled. Because people perform when they are best left to their own machinations, of course within a guide. So for me, when I saw what was happening in Estonia, I felt relieved that when I started the Teachers Training College with that in mind, then I was validated.
And still on this same topic,
yes.
Another thing that we saw here was the trust factor
yes.
that teachers are given. What's your sense about that?
I will tell you that that is the best that happens. Now, let me talk about the St. Nicholas Academy in relation to your question. The St. Nicholas Teachers Training College needed to practice in that free space. So if I had done the Teachers Training College and just sent or posted or have the teachers posted in the school setup in the Kenya system the way it is, then whatever efforts we are doing were going to be defeated. So it was a defeatist aspect. And so what I did, I went ahead now to found the St. Nicholas Junior Academy. Actually, it started the St. Nicholas Teachers Training College Academy. Because we wanted these teachers to have a space to practice. So we started with the kindergarten. And I'll tell you that St. Nicholas Junior Academy is demand-driven. Every class was being added every year because every new year would have something new that we want these teachers to practice. And so when we got that and we were able to send them to our kindergarten, which eventually grew to primary school and junior school, formerly junior secondary school. And so when we were there, the teachers were able to practice what we are telling them in class creatively and with a lot of autonomy. I'll tell you today, my principal has been with us for the last 13 years. The deputy has been with us for the last 12 years. The deputy was our first, among our first students in the college. Wow. So after he finished, he transitioned to become a teacher. He taught, he became the deputy. So we are able to identify a person who has the same. Now, we also take these students in the schools surrounding us to infuse the same. And so when we go to assess them in those schools, we have a sit down with the head of the department or the principal or the director and say, look, we sensitize them. not necessarily to allow our own teachers to do things differently, but to infuse the style of teaching even among the others. And so our teachers are ambassadors whenever they go of that creative and autonomy sort of teaching. That way then you even retain very many teachers. If you ask most of the directors, what they suffer from is
High turnover.
high turnover. I will tell you, anybody who started with us, the youngest I think is 7 years, who's been with us. And because of that, that's why I'm able to take this trip to Estonia, because I really do not want to boss them. I give them the trust that I believe what you're doing. How do I get the feedback? Through the parents and by interacting with the learners. I take a walk once in a while to the schools, and when I say once in a while, believe me, it's once in a while. When I go to the college in Syokimau, which is a TVET, they refer to me as a visiting director. Because when I go there, really allow everybody to be themselves.
Yeah.
And by so doing, you see results. And you sit down with them so that you don't just let them do or run amok. You sit down with them and say, look, I have all the reasons and all the resources to monitor you. But guess what? That's not me. Allow me to be the vision bearer. Allow me to propel our institutions to the next level. So do not put me in the operations. But when we started, I was hands-on.
Yes.
Why? In order to instill the culture that I want.
Nice.
The culture, the value system. Our school is value-driven. Integrity, professionalism play a very key role. What we say, for example, if there's an issue, we say, rise to the occasion and raise the issue later. So if I see somebody doing something different, I will not say, let's see what happens. I will go do the right thing. And then in our own space as teachers, we'll come and say, Richard, you did this and this, but that was not what we agreed, and I did this. And so we have that, a very nice, amicable way of looking at things. Right now, I just learned that the students governing council, because we allow them to do the elections. So we take them for orientation workshop on value-based leadership. So this weekend, they're actually going away from school. Again.
And what ages are this?
All the way from class governors, all the way to the
different
school
cohorts
president.
go.
We take now, because they go as a council.
Okay.
So the class presidents, the games.
All class presidents.
All class presidents.
Okay.
The co-curricular leaders, up to the school president, and because the school president is leading a council. So we can't leave some. So when we go, we show them and we teach them the reason to be jointly executing their duties. And we don't sit there. You know the way we sit down with lecturers and people? No. We do this through play, through activities. So they do an activity and then we ask them, what have you learned from that activity? They themselves. So the learning comes from them. That way then it is instilled and they know what it takes. So that is now the primary and the college. And
let me ask you then this question.
Yeah.
You, because of the years that you've been doing this, you have been in one where, and I'm coming to your role in as heading these different associations.
Yes.
Or being a part of them. But more importantly, first and foremost, I want to start with the transition from 844 KCPE, the secondary, to CBC. First and foremost, what are your thoughts about that different type of learning?
Let me tell you, for me, CBC, now CBE, was the best thing that happened after sliced bread. Because I have never believed in cramming. I never went to a school where we had to cram. I went to a school, thank God, run by nuns, where everything is hands-on. And so I'll tell you, I'm one of those people you will never see celebrating on TV with a mean grid. I would see my teachers do it because I know I have people who cannot change a bulb even after Form 4. Why? Because they're channeled again. I was teaching in one of the top schools in government before I quit. One day I found myself with my lights on at 6:20, going to teach in the morning. And that was the day I decided this is it. The reason is this. At that time, your brain is at optimum. And you want to allow the learners, the students, really to study for themselves. But the system had put it so that you have to be in class. And as soon as we finish the class, they run from breakfast. No, they've already had breakfast. So they come from class, probably they're going for assembly. Then after that, lessons begin. Lunchtime, there is a maths teacher teaching them. In the afternoon, we are there. After 4, we have this person teaching them. Then probably they go for 30 minutes games or something like that. They come back, it's prep time. At prep time, there's somebody teaching them. Tell me, Richard, when will we allow the children to think? To think. We are teaching and teaching and teaching. Now, on top of that, we come and give them a rat. A rat was something, a random assessment test. In between, you have a cat, continuous assessment test. In between, you have mock. In between, you have what was called maybe half-term exam and then the end-term exam. By that time, there's no time to revise because a test is supposed to assess what you have taught. So you find that it is a system of rote learning where you are giving, you are testing, and you're not teaching. And let me tell you, at that point, between going to see a dentist and going to class, I thought a dentist is easier. I felt I'm doing everything against my grain. And I was therefore branded and labeled almost a rebel. Because I would say, look, can we allow students to read? Can we allow students to study in the morning what we taught yesterday? Now, because of that, therefore, 844 produced people who, left to their own, they cannot do much. And that is why, with all due respect, we do not, this thing of leaderless and rudderless it started from there. Because nobody wants to go to the front. Nobody is confident enough to say, I'm going to take the mantle. And the others would be like, you know, that kind of thing. And that's why the 844 taught everybody to try and be equal. Richard, me, I'm not a science person. I would have been a very nice chemistry student, but my teacher told me I do not know chemistry, and it stuck, and therefore I just shut. And so, allow everybody to be themselves. This aspect of hobby schools is the best thing.
That's something that we got to experience.
Yes.
And see.
Yes, we really need to.
What was that like for you, hearing about the hobby schools? Is that where you got this idea, or is it something that you had called a different name that now you got now the proper understanding?
Yes, I'd gotten a different name, the CBC. You see, CBC simply means competency. What are you competent in? You see, like right now, what you're doing, Richard, it's passion plus purpose, and therefore it is driven. At the end of the day, it is your interest. And you're doing something very natural because that's what you love. But now if I bring you out and I want to put you to be a doctor,
people will die.
You'll be the first one to die. You see? And so those
True
are
that.
Yeah. So those are the things. So the competencies where you want to have a child drive their agenda in a controlled way. You will control because you know the end result. We are not going to let them run amok, but you know that you want to pipe them. I have a friend of mine whose child either refused or was not able to continue in the formal school in Nairobi, and she took this child to soccer academy. There's a soccer academy on Ngong Road, around Adams Academy.
Yes.
And I didn't understand at first. So I got curious to understand this. Now, if you have the Kemboys, these runners, without an education, they go, they run, they get millions, they come and lose it. Why? Because they do not have those skills. So these hobbies must also be accompanied by some level of literacy. It's not just to be left alone. So there must be a curriculum. My biggest pain is the way we keep mutilating the CBE, the competency-based education. We mutilate it to fit our circumstances, yet the original intention is what we are seeing here in Estonia. I sit in, like I told you that...
When you say we mutilate it, who is it?
As a country. Let me tell you, I sit in KICD, the academic
KICD?
committee, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. The academic committee is supposed to approve what the course panel brings. The course panel is supposed to approve what the subject panel brings. So when we are there, we are supposed to interrogate what the course panel have presented to
And
us.
these are people who are interrogating, and not just random people. These are professionals within the education system.
In fact, let me tell you, the academic committee is made up of every spectra of society in Kenya. I'll start to myself. I said I represent the private schools. We have a representative from TSC. We have a representative from NEC. We have a representative from the Federation of Kenya Employers. We have from the faith-based education.
Wow.
We have from the universities, the public universities, the private universities, the Parents Association. Kina Musua, Saundunda. We have the Muslims. We have the Catholics. We have the... Everybody is represented across board, whoever deals with education, whoever deals with children.
So by the time all those different people have agreed on something,
Yes.
that thing is worth passing.
Exactly. We are from the Ministry of Education. In fact, that committee is chaired by the DG, the Director General of Education. Is him. So you see, everybody is there. So by the time we come and say that maths will be reduced to this number of lessons, English will be reduced to this number of lessons, we'll have asked many questions. We'll have interrogated the system. And so it cannot just happen. It cannot just be anything. But guess what? Sometimes...
Hold on one sec. Don't lose that thought.
Yeah, so I was saying that as is characteristic of the Kenyan society, when we do not have resources, instead of looking for the resources, we slash some of the lessons that are supposed to happen. You see?
Is that why the system moved and removed art, craft, and music?
Yet that is where the OB school is supposed to come in. You see?
Okay, but let me ask then, what have you seen? I'm trying to, you see, as you talk, there's a lot of stuff that I'm seeing here that I'm asking and wondering, did you see the same thing? So, for example, the role of government here. Government plays a role in financing students, and
Yes.
that also means teachers' salaries,
Yeah.
food, etc. Both public and private.
Yes.
So let me even sort of move here a bit. I want to understand your time here. I know a lot of it was, you came to clear the mind a bit,
Yeah.
as you mentioned earlier, but I'm sure there's things that you saw because you're not blind.
Yes.
Yes. I want to understand, break it down. What are some of the things you saw?
Let me tell you, the role of the government, every government, is to educate its citizens, among others. I'm now narrowing down to education. So therefore, as a private investor or as a private education provider, when I come on board, it means that there's a gap that the government has created. And therefore, the government should not see me as a competitor, but as a complementer of what it's supposed to be doing.
Does the government see you as a competitor?
Oh my goodness. Every day we get new rules that are meant to break us. I'll give you the most immediate one. Right now, in the finance bill, they've removed the exam fee that they pay for all the students. The national exam fee is paid for by the government.
But is this for private and public or just...
Any child. When it comes to children, there's no public or private child.
Yes.
So, NEC exam is free. Or rather, the government takes care of it.
Yes.
Now, right now, they say that any parent who can afford to take a child to a private school has money, so let them pay.
And what about the public? No.
No. But guess what will happen? If a child in my class or in my school is not able to pay, I'll not pay for them. So what will happen? They will miss the exams.
Wow.
And that's why there was a lot of dropout. And that's why we must fight for some of these policies not to see the light of the day. When it comes to education, it is the responsibility of the government to educate that child.
But that is wrong. Okay, and I completely agree with you. There should never be a discrimination on the basis of private or public.
Exactly. When it comes to the child.
Okay, I've understood already a difference. Because already here, and again, me, I'm very layman in this understanding. I'm just kuongea vile nimeona, talking what I've seen, as we say in Kenya, kwa ground, on the ground.
Vitu kwa ground.
So,
but here, I love that education is not business here. Education here, everything is intentionally done. Intentionally. They are very deliberate. And that is why you do not have to go to school B when C is near your place, because all of them get the same thing.
standardization.
Standardization is the same.
The best school is the nearest school to you.
Exactly, because all of them have the same things. Things like computers. The government gives computers, and after 3 years, they come take them and reload with others. You see, and yet, Richard, let me tell you, surprisingly, that's what had been started. When we were talking about a laptop for every child, that was the whole idea. But guess what? Some of these things, if you give us the hardware without the software, then we'll go nowhere. So if I do not know what to do with that laptop, that's why they were locked very safely in a cabinet. Because again, the government, the public teacher does not want to be asked tomorrow, ilienda wapi, iliharibika aje. So what do? They just went and locked them nicely. The next thing, we saw all of them being sold everywhere.
Is this now where, because what you're talking about there is values.
Yes.
What have you seen from this side from a perspective of values?
Integrity. Remember, they kept on talking about trust. Trust right from the small child to the oldest. Equality and equity. Even outside school, walking in the streets, I do a lot of observations.
Informal learning,
or even the citizen of this country, they will be considered because you'll find that we have benches where they can sit, and those benches are shielded. Now you go to JKI, that is your point of entry. You'll be rained on as you're going to.
Okay, what other positive things have you seen here that you believe we can implement back home? And now I want to touch this one from the aspect of your role in representing the private sector.
Good. The Kenya Private Schools Association is one of the bodies that is actually ebbed in the Education Act. And it's supposed to sit in every forum where decisions are being made. Of late, we have seen that not happening. That you sit, I'm sitting with you like this and I start seeing the policies. We need to get involved. We need to really, we are supposed to be in the kitchen. Because if you're not in the kitchen, then you're on the menu. And if you're in the menu, you'll be eaten. I'll give you an example of our roads. Our roads in Kenya, because of the menace of the matatus and the bad culture, when you're constructing the roads, we don't even have a shoulder. So that matatus do not deviate. It's the same thing here. The policies that currently are being done at the education level, it's like to punish the private schools. They want to put a bottleneck in every aspect because they think we are millionaires. You walk in, even that.
You mean back in Kenya?
Back in Kenya now. So I'm trying to compare with that, and then I'll bring it here. That's why you'll meet even with the government office and say, oh, these are the millionaires. So the other day, when we met with our waheshimiwas, they said, these are the rich people. We said, yes, we are very rich. In fact, I remember I made a joke and said, if money was a disease, would be in the wards. Because we have a lot of money. So if you look at it that way, then there's a bottleneck, a deliberate bottleneck to prevent the private schools from advancing or from providing the education. Wow. Look at it this way. The tourists, we have TSV, tourist service vehicles. But our schools do not have school service vehicle. We have PSVs. We get the license of public service vehicles, yet we are not offering commercial.
Yes.
We are in the school space.
You're carrying children of students, of
so
parents.
That policy. So therefore, we need now to close the gap between the government, the parliament, and ourselves, so that we can say, look, when you go to NTSA, we should have our own lane because we are doing a totally different business. But now, if you find yourself with the matatus, what do you do?
Oh.
Okay? You're told that you must pay money per seat, just the same way the matatus do. So you find that at policy level, at legislative level, we are not represented. But again, this is very personal. I mean, it's very homemade because we have the space, but we are sleeping a bit. But the government should smoke us out. So what is happening now is a very small fraction of the international schools is what is speaking on behalf of all the private schools.
Oh, man. So it is the guys doing the Cambridge, it is the guys doing those things. It's not even the guys doing the majority, which is the CBCs.
Exactly.
And CBE.
Yes.
Who are... So what's your challenge then to the private school owners?
this is the challenge: is rise up, sit on the table, because it's provided for in the law. Let's be more proactive than complaining. I don't like complaining, Richard. I like us to have a solution-based approach to everything. I would want to.
Motto.
Yes. Honestly, I want to sit, and that's why I told the two Ashimiwas who are with here that when we go back, would like us to have a meeting so that we sit down with the education committee that you represent in parliament, because that is where you push our policy. But they are saying they have no idea what we are talking about. The other day, these guys UpBet. You have heard about UpBet?
No.
UpBet is called the Alternative Provision of Basic Education and Training. It's a low cadre, the informal sector of education. They are mainly found in the slums and stuff like that. Yeah. But right now, you can find them anywhere else. So what is happening? There's a political card that is being played. For example, in Nairobi, they used to get capitation directly. Now they no longer get, because I told you, either public or private. So they chose to be this way. But now, Dishia County, they have gotten inside. There's a political card.
So, but they get government funding as
No, they
public.
stopped. They
They
stopped.
stopped.
They stopped.
So, and what have they declared themselves as, private or public?
They're insisting that they're still private,
Yeah.
but alternative provision. So they want to be amorphous. They're in amorphous body.
Yes.
But they're being very aggressive. So the other day, the Washimiwas were telling us they have seen that bill being pushed in parliament where they'll be recognized. So you see, if they're recognized that way, there are very many implications. So we need to sit, we need to push a little harder. We need to go and say, look, we are here. We have a space. Can our space be recognized? But unless we stand up and go and say it again, nobody's going to come up.
Let me ask this question. And this will sound a bit harsh, but I just need to ask it.
Yes.
The thing that I have observed here is the essence of values. And how that values then permeates all the way until the top.
Yes.
Even in this conversation, I can feel the issue-based conversation, the issue, and there are many coming up. Do you honestly believe there is hope where we can bottom up? What I mean by that is from the children going up, change the education and begin to instill these new values that in 20 years the rot has gone.
Yes. Let me tell you. You see here, for sure there is value. You'll see a small child riding a scooter to the mall alone, and nobody will harass that child. And that is a spectacle to all of us. You're like, wow, a small child. You, even a grown-up child, you are still worried. Kama amefika nyumbani. So one of the things that we must do, which here they managed to do over the last 20 years, is to eliminate crime. Remember, they told us the crime was very high. And it has taken them 20 years. So there's a collaborative approach. If you say these guys are very intentional, and that way the government is very intentional, that's why they're teaching in Estonian language. And right now, if we sat down and said, even if it is Kiswahili, that must be. You remember initially, one of the things was supposed to have the indigenous languages in our schools. What have we done? Slowly we are mutilating. Even if we say Nairobi, there's no indigenous, what about in the villages? You speak your mother tongue, you are given a punishment.
Monitor.
You know?
Monitor.
And so, here, these guys are very intense. Even those who know English will pretend they don't know first. They're like Chinese. They'll pretend. Honestly, they will look at you, will ask a question, and then when they realize the English is impeccable. There are those, of course, who do not know. So, like you have said, in 20 years, if we started working backwards, you say in 20 years, this is where we are. So if 20 years we are here, then where are we now? So we start working backwards. You say in the next 1 year, this is what we'll have achieved. Key indicators, key performance indicators. And we strategically plan for that, a brick at a time. And we go eliminating. Richard, this thing is done and it is doable. Look at Rwanda.
Yes.
Rwanda was a very small country. Rwanda is like Estonia.
Exactly.
The only thing they don't have is education.
And they've even declared Swahili as a national language.
Today I spoke to a Rwandese from Taiwan in Kiswahili. They were in the cruise ship with my daughter and they called and they spoke Kiswahili and I was like, wow. But guess what their national language is? Kinyarwanda. So all of them speak Kinyarwanda. So what is so hard in us agreeing as a country we have But because we are 42 countries, 42 tribes, so it's like so many countries, so we can even say Kiswahili. The problem here is we are a bit selfish and self-centered, and we never implement anything with a good mind. And we are very suspicious of each other. Richard, if you start a school there, you see, like right now, I'll go home, and instead of me calling all the people to come and listen to what I saw, I will want to go and stand out as a school. And that is what I love that 844 went. Because now we are all equalized. Right now, I'll tell you, I've already organized, and I'll share with you that clip. You can come and shoot. I've already organized for about 300 directors of schools from Embakasi sub-county for a meeting on the 12th of June to come and tell them about what this. 300.
I like that.
300. Free. I'm looking for sponsors. People just get them tea, lunch, and maybe pay for the venue. But they must hear this. Guess why? If I have a child who transfers from my school to the next neighboring school, and that child is in mediocrity stage, then there's nothing I was doing. If I have a teacher who is not retooled, who is not trained, and transfers to the next school or comes from the other school to my school, then I'm doing zero-sum work. So the idea here is this, to have a ripple effect approach to solving issues. I would rather train you and you leave me than not train you and you are stuck with me. That's mediocrity. So my plan is Embakasi, we start with Embakasi.
First of all, that is, you know what I like hearing? I like hearing about people who have takeouts and actionable takeouts.
Yes.
So how we will support you is ensuring this content of that whole experience is available. So that even after your training, wanaingia YouTube, and they can see for themselves what it is that you are seeing.
We shall invite you for that meeting. So after I am able to conquer Embakasi, in that capacity of the chair of Embakasi, then I take it to the next level of Nairobi County, where I am the secretary. We can do it in every sub-county in Nairobi, or we can call for one meeting in Nairobi. At least they have a glimpse, and then after that, show them the leads on what they can do. And then if it works, we can do the same now. We can escalate the same to the national level. I head the subcommittee of the teachers training colleges, private teacher training colleges. I'm the chairman.
You can also invite
all those. In fact, we're already talking with Carol, because we do that, so that if everybody plays their role, Richard, everybody plays their role in the next 20 years, nothing is impossible. Nairobi is the hub. If we sneeze, everybody catches a cold. So if we sneeze the right thing, we got the right nini. So what happened here in Estonia can still be replicated. If we had this many exchange programs, but they are actioned, then that is a game changer. But if we leave it here, or you go implement in your school slowly, so that everybody thinks, because in Nairobi, our private schools are businesses, and like here where it's not businesses. We were with you yesterday.
Yeah.
Where Alejandra told us. It's a foundation, it's a mission. Yes. So those are some of the things that, honestly speaking, if we were very intentional, deliberate, and we don't give up. And again, the environment, we need to create a very amiable environment to work in. Because sometimes you start something. I'll tell you that I started by having 32 digital devices so that I can use in my classes, and then I told my parents to buy it. Is theirs, they'll go with them. Before long, okay.
No. We have. There's hope and there's change.
There's hope.
So let me ask now, from a very not general, just me asking. Do you honestly feel that this was worth your time coming for this?
100%. One, I rested.
You rested?
Oh, yes, I did.
With all these madness trips?
Oh, there's a lot of madness back at home. Okay. The things that I do, I rested. Two, I saw. I learned. And I'm one person who gets rejuvenated. Ask me how I run all these institutions.
Yes, that's a lot.
I run these institutions through, one, I empower the people that I'm with. And so what I've already started talking. And believe you me, I'm going to plan myself in the next shortest time possible to bring my heads of departments here. because you see, it is easier when they come, the people who are on the ground, the implementers. Because me, even if I go back, I'm going to go back with the theory. I'll tell them this is how it's supposed to be done. But if I organize for them to come, heads of departments will be able to train the others. Just the same way I take them for trainings, and I take the other teachers for training. So this, in every aspect of the sense of the word, was worth every bit. And I don't mind coming back again and again and again.